Hello. So, am I audible?
Yes, Tushar, yes.
Okay. So, as you guys know, my name is Tushar, and I'm a software developer here. So, today I'm going to discuss about Azure Firewall, which is a new service which came in general availability in this Ignite. So, first, before talking about Azure Firewall, this is today's agenda. What we are going to discuss about. First, we'll discuss about Azure Firewall. After that, we'll discuss about its architecture. Then, how we are going to do it with PowerShell. After that, we'll see some demos and how it works on Portal. Okay, so before going to the Azure Firewall, I'd like to set some context about it. So most of the cases, what we get from customers that how we are going to protect their applications with the malicious intent, how we are going to make their security model zero trust model, or how they are going to protect their network from DDoS attacks, and isolating their environments by microsegmentations and all. So we have n number of networking services with Azure. So that comes under connection monitoring and how we are going to make things available and how we are going to protect the things. So basically, we are going to focus on these part, the protection part that comes DDoS protections, Azure firewall, network security groups, web application firewall, and virtual network endpoints. So these all services provides you the ability to make your system secure, your system robust, so that you can protect it from malicious intents. So first comes the virtual data center that is totally replicating your system like your on-prem environments to the virtual cloud center. And Azure Firewall, what we are going to dig deeper in the next slides. DDoS protection is a new service which comes under virtual network. You'll get a icon, you'll get a tick box for that. You can check that box for DDoS protection. And web application firewall network. We all are, I guess, familiar with network application security groups. That is NSGs. Okay, service endpoints. It's such a
Hey, sorry to interrupt you, sir.
yeah.
DDoS, can you tell me what
Yeah,
is this DDoS?
DDoS protection. I'll show that in a demo. Is it okay?
Okay, all right, all right.
Basically, it's a DDoS protection service. You'll get that option in your VNet. You can enable that. So whenever there is an attack on your system, it will prevent from that.
Okay,
What is DDoS? Denial of service attack. It's like your
denial of service,
distributed denial of service. Exactly. So
distributed denial of service attack.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm
got
sorry
it.
for that. So okay, so basically it's a flood of data coming to your workload, so it may crash your workload. So we'll talk about this in later on slides. So this is not a practical architecture, but still this is an architecture of this covers all the services like on premise, as you can see here. Okay, as you can see here, here is our on-premise environment. These all are based on Azure only. So the services that are available for security is DDoS protection, as you can see here. DDoS protection service. Yeah, sure. Yeah, DDoS protection that works over your public IP, and here is your our Azure Firewall application gateway that I was talking about, WAF, that web application firewall. Okay, here is the VNet service endpoints. You can peer the VNets and then you can work on the security of them. Okay, so it's just a single architecture with all the services implemented. Okay, so let's move on to Azure Firewall. So basically, it's a cloud native stateful firewall service, which is totally scalable. You can it's highly available just because it is based on cloud, so it is highly available. It scales automatically whenever your workload is facing some high traffic, Like whenever your workload requires high availability, high scale, it will scale automatically. You don't have to even set for high scalability. Okay, so and you can make two type of filtering over here. First one is network filtering, and second one is application filtering. We'll talk about this in later on slides, but there's two type of filtering available here. So the thing is, it works on VNet. It is to a complete VNet protection service. It will filter all your inbound as the normal firewall does. It works over your all inbounds and outbound traffics. Okay. So here, most of the time, what we do is we apply hub and spoke. What is say topology or something? Okay. So whenever we are working on implementation of Azure Firewall, what we do, we group our all VNets, connect it with a single VNet, and then we apply firewall over there. As you can see in this architecture over here, there are two. Oh, sorry. There are two spoke one and spoke two. It is connected to the Azure Firewall. That is a that is connected with a centralized VNet. Okay, and that also connected with their on-premise system. Okay, so we can add all the filters for the internet. Okay, and the facility that is available over here is centralized logging. You can log all your events, like whatever is coming inbound, whatever outbound services are happening. You can all log all of them. There are a lot of compliance issues. There are a lot of compliance requirements that companies get, that how your security is working, how they are working with that, how your security is enrolled. So you can manage this. You can get a log for all this. Okay, let's look at the features what we have in Azure Firewall. These are the GA features. These are the generally available features that is announced at Microsoft Ignite on this 28th September. Okay, so first one is application rules. So in application rules, we have FQDN filtering. FQDN, I guess all of you are familiar with that term. FQDN is fully qualified domain name. So whenever you are filtering a domain name, like you want your application only to access github.com, like your project, whatever you hosted on your system, where your workload requires only whenever something updates on github.com, it takes only that code, nothing else, no internet connectivity apart from that. So you can just allow github.com using that FQDN filtering, so that whenever your code requires, or whatever your requirement is, you can access that website only, and you can manage that everything. Next is FQDN tag. That is new thing. This was not available when this service was in public preview. So FQDN tags, when the term FQDN filtering is this, it is same as FQDN filtering. What happened here, when this service is launched and FQDN filtering was announced, the people was facing a lot of issues, like when we are using Windows Update, there are a lot of websites that provide Windows updates. So you have to add all these 200, 250, or whatever the number is. You have to whitelist all those fully qualified domain names over there, so that you can get the updates only. So what Microsoft did, they packaged some FQDNs in some small packages. So you can simply add a tag, whatever is available there, and you can allow few services. Some of the examples are Azure Backup and App Service environments. These require some special kind of FQDNs. Yeah. So, and there are some default rules for default infrastructure rule collection. We'll talk about this when we are doing our demo. Okay. So, and the next one is NAT support. NAT support is for inbound traffic. Whatever the inbound traffic is coming, like you want to access your VM through RDP. These two, SNAT and DNAT, these two does not support HTTP or HTTPS services. Like these are only for apart from HTTPS, there are a lot of services like RDP, SSH. Whatever you want to do, you can whitelist or you can allow or block them from here. Okay. And next one is monitoring. Monitoring and logging, as I told you earlier, that you can log all the incoming traffic, and you can log all the systems, all the whatever is going on, like we do in normal firewalls. That is, physical firewalls provides a file for that. You can log it with Azure Monitor logging, which is Azure Monitor provide you all the uh, matrices and all the graphs and all. Okay, and it supports inbound from hybrid connections. Whenever you are connecting with your on-prem environment, you can integrate Azure Firewall with that also. Okay, and these two features are network watcher integration. This shows, okay, these two features are still not available yet, but these are going to be available very soon. Okay, this is a practical example of Azure Firewall. Azure Firewall is implemented by Willis Towers Watson. It is a advisory company. So this demo, this was shown in Microsoft Ignite. I took that from. So in this, what they did, their global WAN is connected with Azure, and all the services, what they only want their connection to be between Azure and whatever the outbound is going from this place, this global WAN is only to the Azure, not to any other network. They wanted to make this totally separate from internet. So what they did, they implemented express route to connect it with Azure. Once the connection is done, the express route is bounded with Azure Firewall, and whatever the requirements they have, whatever the workloads they wanted to be accessed by the on-prem network, they made it available, and rest of all is denied. Okay. Okay, let's dive deep into each and every terms that we saw right now. So first one is inbound traffic filtering. What we have, application. I was talking about application gateway, that is WAF, application gateway web application filtering. It was basically based on the HTTP and HTTPS applications. So basically, web application. It was basically for web applications. So most of you might be thinking that we already have NSGs for this purpose. We can block everything from NSG, but it's not a replacement of NSG, and we can't say it's never gonna be a replacement for NSGs, but it's a what can I say? It's a top level. If you are going to mix them all, like NSGs, Windows Azure Firewall, and WAF, this will make a tight layer of security over your application. So Windows Firewall supports, like Windows Application Firewall. Sorry, it's Web Application Firewall. Web Application Firewall is based on totally HTTP and HTTPS level protection. What Azure Firewall does, it doesn't provide you HTTP and HTTPS protocols. It provides you non-HTTP and HTTPS protocols like SSH, RDP, and FTP. You can limit all those things. Whatever you are doing, you can limit with this. So if your application is using application gateway web application firewall, you can integrate Azure Firewall with that also, and then you'll get these features, like you can, sorry, like you can limit over, you can get the control of whole SSH, RDP, FTP, and all those protocols, which is not available with this. Okay, and we have inbound, we have destination network DNAT, which is what we call destination network address translation. So inbound traffic, whatever the inbound traffic is going, you can easily translate it into, like let's just take an example, like you have a virtual machine and you don't have public IP associated with that, and you want to access it from internet, that too securely. So what you are going to do, you'll create an Azure Firewall, you'll create a virtual machine with a private IP. We'll create what we call it, I just forget, it's UDR, yeah, user defined route. We'll create a UDR to virtual machine to Azure Firewall, and with the Azure Firewall's public IP, we'll access the with Azure Firewall's public IP, we'll access the virtual machine, and we can take RDP with the Azure Firewall's public IP. So while we are doing that, we can restrict it anytime. Okay. So we have
Tushar, one
some.
question here.
Yeah, sure.
So if Azure Firewall is having one IP
Hmm.
and we are trans, tra- translating that to private IP of a virtual machine. Suppose I am having 10 virtual machines and I want to apply same rule for 10 machines. How I will do that? Because
Okay.
public IP of firewall is only one.
Okay. So for that purpose, you need to create multiple public IPs. Not that
How?
because as a there is an I'll show you that in the demo, because there is a provision that you have to provide a source public source IP, and then what IP it's going to be translated. Am I
Okay.
clear?
Little bit. Let's have a
Okay.
when we will demonstrate, then we will more
Okay.
understand.
Sure. Okay. So these are the known issues that is mentioned here, that it doesn't work on port 80 and port 22. Okay. So these are going to be fixed soon, as it is written on Microsoft Docs. So let's talk about FQDN tags, which is newly available there. So FQDN tags, fully qualified domain name tags, we have supported like Windows Update, Windows Diagnostic, and Active Protection Service like Active Directory Protection Service. It's I guess maps. And as a backup, all these tags are already available there. You can easily mention it, and you'll get all the services that Windows Update is providing. Okay. Next one is hybrid link. Like when you are connecting with your on-premise environment, the traffic filtering, whatever the transaction, what we call it, zero trust network. We don't trust even internal transactions. Also, internal data transactions can also be exploited. Okay. So what we do here, we connect our on-premise network, whatever it is connected with the express route or a VPN service. What we'll do, we'll put as a firewall in between, and then we'll do the whole set of the whole set of rules. Okay.
Tushar, what is a spoke?
Spoke.
If you can define it. Yeah.
Okay. Spoke, it's just a collection of what do you say, workloads that is connected to a single VNet. That's a
Oh, so they can be of different type or they are to be of the same.
no, they can be a different type. You can create a hub. You can connect as many. There's not as many. There is a number, I guess, 500 or something spoke to the single hub. It's like
Okay. So a collection of spokes is a hub.
it's a collection of scope is not a hub. As you can
Okay.
say, as you know that there is a what can I say? In networking, there is a hub, and there is a lot of systems connected with that, right?
Yeah, right.
Exactly, that's the same. There is one VNet, as you can see here. This one is a
Okay.
VNet, and multiple
Hmm.
virtual machines are connected with this. Okay, and
Okay.
this VNet is connected to this central VNet.
Okay.
So this one is your hub, and this one is your spoke.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay, I'm not that networking guy, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. Okay. Okay, so as I was talking about UDRs, user-defined routes. So whenever we are connecting, whenever we are doing a hybrid connection, we need to provide some routes. Like whenever the connection is coming, like your local IP to the firewall's IP. We'll see that in the demo also. So with not the hybrid connection, because we don't have a hybrid connection right now. So we'll see that in Azure connection. So UDR, basically UDR provides you uh, two IPs. But for first one is your local IP, and then you will what you will do, you'll map it to the you'll route it to the Azure Firewall's IP. Okay. So next one. Okay. It. Okay, one more thing. We have to allow our spokes whenever we are connecting with VPN or express route. We have to there is an option in while we are doing VNet peering, because we can achieve this via VNet peering also. So there is an option called allow gateway transit whenever we are creating VNet peering. So we have to tick that option whenever we are doing VNet to spoke connection, like whenever we are going to connect on-prem environment to the Azure Firewall. As same as that use remote gateway connection, that option is also available there. Okay. So Azure Firewall with PowerShell is very easy. There is just two commands. I'm not going to demonstrate how we are going to create all this, how we are going to create of Azure Firewall, but still, these two commands, whenever you have Azure Firewall, you have created a Azure Firewall using, suppose you have created a Azure Firewall using your portal, and now you don't require that. So you can easily deallocate that. Once it is deallocated, is it visible? Once you deallocate it, it will easily go from your network and then deallocate it from your network. Like it is working with your VNet. No, just these three commands. Yeah, it's independent, totally independent. No, no, there is no dependencies. Yeah, but Azure Firewall is not associated. It's a stateful service, totally separated from everything. But you just have to mount, as it what it say, I missed the word. You just have to map it with the all your connection, all. Yeah, whenever we are doing with that NIC card, we have to deallocate it. We have to detach it. That thing is not here because we are not attaching anything. We are just putting this on the top of everything. Okay, so these three commands can only deallocate it, and you can allocate it similarly. Okay, so let's not go deeper into this. So these are the these are the things like we have web application firewall, network security groups, and service endpoints. What we have in addition, what we get if we use our Azure firewall with all this. These provides inbound protection on level 7. Level 7, this provides level 7 what did it say? Layer 7. Layer 7 protection. So layer 7 protection is basically based on HTTP and HTTPS protections also. And with this, I guess we'll get, if we include Azure Firewall, we'll get layer 5 protection also. We'll get all those RDP and SSH and all these things. As same as if we do it with network security groups, we'll get our what is it? Like we can limit our traffic also. We can limit everything. Like we can manage our virtual networks over different subscriptions. Like we have with NSG, you can only do it with a single subscription. You have an NSG, you are working on a single subscription, you can apply all the rules over there only. But with Azure Firewall, what we do, we pair all those virtual networks, and then we apply our firewall on the top of that. Once it's done, all the rules that is applied to that firewall will totally applicate to that. Okay, next one is service endpoints. Service endpoints is basically a PaaS service. Whenever it is like secure access from any application, so you can include Azure Firewall with that also. So whenever your application is communicating with your network, it will be all by the rules. Okay. So this is the billing model that is provided by Microsoft. If you create a Azure Firewall, it will cost you in Indian rupees 82 rupees 63 paise and 1.99 rupees per GB inbound or outbound traffic. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, so your fire and there is a limitation with Azure Firewall. If your workload is scattered in different regions. Like you once one have in East, one you have in East US and one in Central India. You can't have single firewall. You have to make sure that you have two firewalls, one for East US, one for Central India. Okay, and these are the billing model and all. One firewall. You can do it for multiple subscription over one region, but you can't do it for multiple regions. You can't use a single firewall for multiple regions. Okay. So these are the known service limits. Like soft limit is 100 terabyte of there is inbound and outbound limit is 100 sorry, it's 1000 terabyte per month. Okay, and it's the same like limitation if you have more than 50 spoke with a virtual network, that I was mentioning earlier, that there is a limit. I forgot that. You can only include 50 spokes with a single hub, so that as a firewall will not work after 50 spokes. Yeah, this soft limit of 1000 terabyte, it's like inbound and outbound traffic. Inbound and outbound, as they are charging for 1.99 per GB in and out. So to no, it's not free. It's the limit. It's just come out of preview state. It's in GA right now. From that's the soft limit. You have to contact Microsoft once you are done with this limit. Reach that limit, you have to contact Microsoft. Then they can decide they are going to increase it or not.
It's the total inflow, right?
Yeah, totally inbound and outbound.
Inbound and outbound both. But let's say I configure my firewall for the environment, and then you told the first point, right? That it's scalable, right?
Exactly.
Depending on the situation, it can scale itself depending on the workload that is coming in and out. So let's say initially we assume that the limit will be under 1000 terabytes, but suddenly due to some workload, it increased. So how exactly it's going to affect the firewall and
1000 terabyte is very much if you are doing in
environment
terms of inbound and outbound traffic only. 1000 terabyte is very huge amount. So if your transaction is above this limit, this line only says that if this is a soft limit, not a hard limit, that it's not restricted to that. You have to contact Microsoft. Yeah, that's only traffic. Whatever the traffic is coming, inbound and outbound traffic. Okay. Soft limit and is in this perspective that it's not bounded to that. You can talk with them. You can talk to the concerned team. It's negotiable. Okay. And hard limit is like it's limited to that. This is 1000. Then 1000 TV. You can't even use 1001 TV. Then you have to contact the concerned person, whoever it is. Okay. And there is a limit for application and network rules. Like you can only create 10,000 application and 10,000 network rules, and that's I guess a lot because I only think of 5 network rules right now. Okay, so these are the SLA that they provide. That Azure support. There is the Azure support pack, which is 1916 per month. So if you want support for Azure Firewall, you can get it from there, and it's 99.95% availability time. That is SLA from Microsoft. Okay, let's move to the demo. Okay, in between I forgot to deploy. So it will take 5 minutes. I have the script ready. Let me switch my desktop first. Yes. So what I am going to do here, I'm deploying a predefined template, which is a sandbox environment for this demo. Okay, so let me put the code here first. Not do so. So this is going to deploy a storage account which is for our VMs, and a single routing table, a virtual network for our VMs, and two public IPs. One public IP is for our firewall, and second one is for our jump box environment. We are creating a jump box virtual machine, which is not associated with anything. We are just putting it in that VNet so that we can access that VM which doesn't have their own public IP. Okay. So we are creating a storage account. Second one is route table, as I was talking about UDRs, user defined routes. Third one is virtual network, and fourth and fifth one is public IPs. First one is for Azure Firewall. Second one is for the third VM that we are creating just in that VNet only, so that we can access that VM that doesn't have their public IP. So taking RDP of that VM is not possible unless or until we create a separate VM for that. So, and next one is your NIC card and NIC card for both the VMs, and these are our VMs, and this one is our firewall. So we'll see once it is deployed. We'll see the jump box. It's the name of that VM. We are going to jump to our main server VM with that. Okay. Use the jump box is different. What? Jump box is just a name. I am just. We are what we are doing. Let me just easily. Wait.
Doesn't have anything. Just configure your environment in that. It is having public IP. Without public IP, you can access your environment from that gym box. You can configure your environment without public IP. But
Is it clear? Not clear? Nilansh, let me explain it once, because it's going to take 5 minutes and I don't have anything else to show. Okay, so jump box. We are creating a server with a firewall. Okay, so that server doesn't have any public IP associated with that. So what we are going to do, we are going to log into that server and check that what we are going to do, application rules. We are going to set some application rules, like we are going to allow only github.com. Like we are going to deny every website that they want to access from there, outbound things. Okay, so we are going to do that. So when we are going to take RDP of that VM, we don't have public IP associated with that VM. So in order to take RDP of that VM, we need another VM in the same VNet, so that we can. Like I said, that's going to be next when I'll configure it with firewall. Then we can access it from that. But first we are going to check. No, RDP it doesn't have the public IP. So how you are going to take RDP on with that? Is it clear? Okay. Do you have any questions? So am I clear, guys on call?
Yes, Tushar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Tushar.
Yeah, Azure Firewall is scalable.
That means that it can scan multiple requests at once.
It can scan multiple requests. It can handle the workloads that handle the network traffic that is coming.
And how would that affect that 82 rupees cost per hour?
it's not going to affect that 82 rupees per hour. It's going to affect this one, the the inbound and outbound charges. This 2 rupee per 3 cent per GB. That's it's not going to affect your 82 rupees per hour is fixed.
So like, what is the internal configuration of that? Because as you said, scale in and scale out, right? So according to the traffic, it will scale up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It, it will be highly available. That's totally up to Microsoft how they are going to manage this. But they are giving 99.95% SLA that this service will never go down. And whenever whatever comes to your system, whatever the workload is going to face, they'll handle all
So what
these.
are the limitations? For example, let's say for example, I'm running an online business.
Okay.
So kind of Flipkart or anything.
Mhm.
So in that case, we will get a maximum number of requests.
So you have load balancers and all for that. No? Firewall is just for protecting you from your inbound and outbound traffic. It's like exfiltration of your inbound and outbound traffic.
So secure and unsecured.
Yeah, transactions. Whatever the transactions is going.
The source which we are accessing,
Mhm.
which is secure, then only it will access.
Yeah, it's same as your uh, no WAF. It's your like your physical firewall.
Okay.
Like you use in Hanu only also there is a firewall deployed. So it's totally same as that. It's just a stateful firewall in cloud, which is totally managed by Microsoft, so that you don't have to worry about all this scalability. Like if the number of users increases in Hanu, they also have to change their
Then might be
firewall.
a number of limitations, right? For example, so
That's the thing. They are charging for that because they have.
so
Uh,
uh, huge traffic in the time of huge traffic, does they charge anything extra?
No, they
Nothing?
charge only for your inbound and outbound, which is data, which is 1 terabyte. What was 1.99 per GB
Mhm.
per gigabyte in inbound and
Irrespective number
outbound
of
traffic.
requests.
It will be 2 rupees extra.
And in all scenarios, Azure Firewall will always be on the top level.
It will always be on top.
There is no scenario that anything will be on top of this.
The priority level, like priority level, there are some priority levels with only, I guess, only with WAF. No, not with WAF. It's with NSG. Sorry, or with NSG, there are some priority levels with only few cases. I don't remember exactly what was that, but there are few cases where the priority level of NSG is higher than network firewall. So when we are using NSGs and network firewall included, then you have to take care of that.
First schedule will be NSC and then firewall.
Not like that. There is some like let's say it's for RDP. So if you are blocking RDP from NSG, and it's not for everything, it's just for few ports. I don't remember the that ports, but like if you are taking example of RDP, if you have disabled your RDP with NSG and you are enabling it from Azure Firewall, then NSG will the rule in NSG will what VNet level. You can even apply NSG on VNet level. Yeah, NSGs can't be applied on over subscriptions. Like you have three subscriptions, you have three separate networks, and you want to apply a single policy for that. So that you can do only with Azure Firewall.
That I understand, but my point was
The level will be Azure Firewall will be always on top. There are few ports. No, there are no exceptions in that. Yes. It takes 4 minutes 48 seconds last time. This time it's deployed. So let's check. So here we have, as I said earlier, it deployed a route table firewall or Azure Firewall. That firewall we can get it from here, like there is a firewall. We just click create. We don't have to provide a lot many things here. You just have to provide it a name, location, because where your workload is hosted, because it is totally dependent on the location. You can choose your virtual network. If you don't have a virtual network right now, you can create a new one from here. Your address spaces, and you need a public IP for your firewall. You always need a public IP for your firewall. Okay. So let's see. So first we are going to check one by one, going from top to bottom. Okay. So here we have a route table. As you can see, the local address is pointed to the next hop, which is 10.0.1.4. Please remember this IP. We are going to see in our virtual network what it is for. So whenever something is coming server subnet, which is 10.0.2.0, and the local address, it is sending it to next hop, which is 10.0.1.4. This is the only this was the single rule defined in our route table. Let's see where is our VNet. Here is our VNet. In our VNet, we have three subnets here. 10 dot here it is 10.1.10.0.1.0. This is our Azure Firewall. This was mentioned there in the next hop. Whenever there is a request coming for this, route this to our Azure Firewall. And our server, which we are going to use, which we are going on this subnet, we are going to provide all those rules. We are going to push all those rules, and we are going to check all those rules on this. And this is our jump box, which we are going to use for checking all this. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. So here we have our Azure Firewall. Only the only thing we have to set here is rules. And we have network address translation rules and network rules, and third one is application rules. So first we are going to talk about application rules, and we are going to check that. So let's just create an application rule here. It will ask you a name for your application rule, like whatever you want. Like I want to allow GitHub priority as same as other services, like lower the priority, lower the number, higher the priority. So we are going to give it 100. What we are going to do, allow or deny. One more catch is there. Once you will add a single domain, like if I'm going to add github.com here, all the other domains will be automatically in deny state. And other than GitHub, only GitHub will be available here. All the domains. So if you not even portal.azure.com, all the domains, all the FQDNs, fully qualified domain names, will show you blocked. So whatever you want, that's why we have FQDN tags. But they have a package number of domains that you want, and I guess we can also create FQDN tags. Like here we have only 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Just give it a name, GitHub. Source address will be anything, anyone who accesses that. Is it visible? Okay. Okay. So you can provide secure connection or not non-secure connection, HTTP and HTTPS. How many of you know about just-in-time VM access? Just-in-time VM access, people on phone, people on Skype. Just-in-time VM access. This is a new service also introduced, not introduced in Ignite, but it's here from Abhijit. Saying something.
Yes. No, no, I was not saying anything. I was about to say that I don't know about it.
Okay. Okay. Just-in-time VM access is also for a security purpose. Like earlier, what we are doing, whenever we create our VM, we get all the services. Like we get all the services like RDP and SSH, all this enabled. We keep that enabled. But in production environment, if we keep that all those services enabled, it will be a threat for our production environment. So just-in-time VM access is for just-in-time VM access is for a certain time amount of time. You create a rule, and that expires after that certain time. Am I right, Shikha? Exactly.
Just like we should have VM for the schedule.
Yeah, just like we just schedule timing for shutdown. Exactly. So when we are using our Azure Firewall with just-in-time VM access, there are some certain conflicts that come, and these are some case use cases. These are some architectures that we have to employ something extra with this. I'm not going to show that. That's no example of that conflicts. I don't have any example of that conflict, but there is some kind of conflict occurs. Like your firewall will not work with that just-in-time VM access. Okay, so you have to Google it for that. There's a It's just announced 10 days, general available from past 10 days. So there is not available a lot many resources. So little example. I just said that your firewall will not work with just-in-time VM access. Your firewall, whatever you are doing, you block GitHub. Okay. So is this okay? I'm not selecting any FQDN tags because I don't need that. Okay. So I'm adding it here.
Let's see if you want to more than one FPDN.
Mhm. I guess we can add it from we can add it with a comma, simple comma.
Whatever we mentioned over there.
You can add multiple ports via comma, but it's only for port 80, 80, 80 and 80. Those are the not 80, 80 and 80, only for the HTTP and HTTPS tags. And the limit for source address is /24 only. You cannot add more than that. Okay, so now it is deploying. So let me take the RDP of that VM. So for that, what I have to do? Let me check. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the RDP of my jump box, Milanj jump box. Okay. Now you will get to know why we need that. So now we are connected with our jump box. Just have to log in. Oh, remember the password. Yeah.
Did you remember when you configured that the jump box you told us like without public IP? Right?
Yeah.
Am I correct, guys? We have public
I'm
IP.
talking about the server, not the. I'm showing you. Let me just give me a moment. This jump box have a public IP. You can. This jump box is just created just because this VM should have a public IP. Let me check. Do we have a public IP in our server? This is our server. This doesn't have a public IP. So if we are going to access this server over internet, we need some another VM in the same virtual network. Till the time we don't configure it with the Azure Firewall so that we can take RDP from the Azure Firewall IP address and this one's public private IP address.
So, Tushar, this server is our normal virtual machine, or this is any specified server?
No, this is normal virtual machine. This is a
Okay.
Windows. Yeah. So let me first I security off because it's going to show a lot of errors. Okay. Now let's see github.com is accessible or not. Okay. I guess I'm accessing it from here. Let me check it. This is our Jumpbox server. It's in the same VNet. So let me see xyz.com. Okay. Okay. It's working here. Now let me take the RDP of that virtual machine with private IP. Not this one. This one 2.4. STSC. And dot 0.2.4. So here we are in our actual server, not the Jumpbox one. This is our actual server with private IP. Explorer. Let me check first the xyz.com. As it says, no rule matched for preceding default action. Preceding with default action, which is deny. Let's check
So,
it.
Tushar, where did we assign that rule, firewall rule, with this particular IP range? Or because there are 3 subnets, and why that is only allowed on this particular subnet, not to other VNets or subnets?
This page is not displayed. Okay. Just Jayant, I'll get back to you in a moment.
Yep, yep.
Okay, what the hell? Okay. Still not. Okay. Internet is not working here. Something wrong with this. Did I set any? Okay, but it's not showing any that error with that. Okay, the internet is not working with the VM. I'll just check that. It was working. Yes, something happened, I guess. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that also once we take the RDP of with this public IP. Okay, so we whitelisted one domain and it's working, and all the other domains like xyz.com, which is not even a domain, it's also blocked. Okay, so as Jayant was asking, we are doing we have created a route table here, and this route table is only 10.0.2.0 is routing to the firewall.
Okay.
If we want our other servers like Jumpbox also, we need to add that here. We need to associate the Jumpbox server also. Once we'll do that, every machine in that particular subnet will be associated with that firewall. Is it clear?
Yes, Tushar. Yes.
Okay. So now I guess, is it also going to show the same? It's accessible. So easy. No, it's also accessible. I guess I have to reboot that system first. Or something, it's still going on. Okay, we'll see that in a moment. So let's move on. So now we have this. Where is my public IP? Do I have my public IP copied? Yeah, it's copied. What is the private IP of this? So now I'm going to give RDP to that server with private IP. So I'll configure it here. First, let me check what is the private IP of this server. This one, no? 10.0.2.4. Okay. Let me go to the firewall rules. Add an at rule. Again, here we have to give it a name, server, priority. Okay. We have two protocols. Source address will be anything. Destination address will be this, and port will be 3389 for RDP. And the translated address will be 10.0.2.4. And translated port will be 3389. We'll translate it to 3389.
Tushar, this public IP address is of what?
This public IP address is okay, give me 1 second. Okay, this public IP address is of our firewall. Sorry, I put wrong public IP address. This is of our firewall.
Okay.
So we can access. So whenever we hit that public IP address, our firewall's public IP address with 3389 port, it will route me to that. Let's see, we can take RDP with that or not. Let's check with this accident. Let me shut down that VM, which is associated with this. And if we try to access it from that IP address, I'm not sure it's going to work or not, but it's just a test that I'm using a different IP address and associating with our firewall.
We are trying to access the jump box with the firewall side, public IP.
We are trying to access the server which doesn't have their own public IP with the firewall's public IP with the permission of firewall, and then
Why shut down the jump box?
because we accidentally put the jump box IP into a firewall. Virtual machine is stopped. Our firewall is still updating. Let me check. I guess it's not working. Is it updated? I have booking till 5:30. Okay, it's added. 4117. No, it's not that. Okay, so it's not working with this. So we need to put the firewall's IP. Jayant, I guess your question for that how we are going to add this, I need to work for that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get back to you once it is done. So I'm again updating it with the firewall's public IP. Still updating. It's I guess 7 minutes over the hour time, but still I'll take 5 more minutes. I hope everyone is fine with that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Hemant, I guess it's not a boring session. Can you hear me?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Tushar, it's very
Okay, no issue.
informative.
Okay. So as you can see here, I am able to get the RDP with this. This IP is our firewall's public IP. And let me check the. Here we are connected with our server with the public IP of our firewall. By port? By same RDP port.
By the firewall side.
We can do it with a load balancer.
Yeah.
Can we specify multiple IP addresses in the firewall
That, that was that question was same as Jen's. That I have to check that, and I guess we have to change that 3389. We can use another port for RDP access, so we can map
How
it.
you will, how you will change the RTP port?
There isn't there's not. I guess there is a provision that we need to
You need
configure
to
our VMs also.
make registry changes,
Yeah.
which is not that will be not a good solution because
I'll definitely look into it, and most probably I'll give the answer by Monday. I'll
okay,
post a
no
mail
problem. No.
with this.
So now after connecting to public IP address, it is redirecting to the another machine, right?
It's redirecting to our server machine, not to the
Okay,
jump box.
okay.
Okay. So I posted a GitHub link. It's github.com. Okay, it's not accessible still, but there is some glitch, I guess.
You are not putting right URL. You are putting https www.github.com. So
Maybe.
just try once again with correct URL. There is some typo.
This is what I am trying to. But I guess.
Okay.
Did I mention? Let me check. Maybe but this page is not found only. This page is not blocked by our firewall.
Yeah.
It is getting blocked by. It was accessible earlier when I was using the same script. I guess there is some glitch, but the procedure is same. We can work around this.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that happens because that's why I never been brave enough to show a live demo. Okay. So this was almost it from my side. So if you have any questions left, please feel free to ping me. This is my email and that's my LinkedIn account. So you can ping me anytime. I'll love to work with any solution built over the Azure Firewall because I am also digging into it. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Tushar.
Thank you, Tushar. Could you please share this PPT with us,
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you, Tushar.
Tushar?
Sure, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay, then I'm signing off. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, everyone.